Today I bring you another Rust adventure, and today is exactly 1 week and 1 day after the BP wipe on this weekly server. I'm joining late to wipe as a solo, so this should be interesting. Okay, so I've joined this specific map because it's got this specific seed on it, and just over here on this snowy mountain, the tallest snowy mountain on the map, there's a hole in between two rocks, like a little crevice. My plan is to build a very unique bunker base around that hole with my TC underground. All we've got to do is make it over there and try to secure ourselves a start. Time to go and try and build a starter base. Now there's our build spot in that crack right there. So I think I'm going to build a starter base just over here. I placed down a starter base, a box, a sleeping bag and a furnace, and started to smelt metal ASAP because I would need metal doors, as at the moment we are only 4 Molotovs and we're raided. After waiting out the night time, I had enough metal to put down metal doors on my starter base. I'd need to farm a decent amount of materials to be able to build my main base. With that in mind, I went to water treatment in hopes of finding scrap to learn metal tools. But I end up getting myself killed by this duo, so I random spawn and find a tier 1 on the beach. All I need is a hammer to pick it up. After farming some barrels on the way home, I made it home with enough scrap to learn metal tools. We could now begin farming for our main base. After killing them guys and farming a bit, I made it back home and depoted all the farm. I placed a drop box, but I still needed to farm some more to be able to build main base. I wasn't farming for very long before I bumped into this guy that would give me something very important. I made it home safely with the double barrel and a bunch of stone. This should now be enough stone to build the starter of my main base. We still needed wood, so I headed out with an axe to do a wood run. After farming enough wood to get the first stage of my main base built, I depoted it in the boxes and then decided it was time I started to farm up some scrap and learn the double barrel. So I headed out to farm the roads and monuments, but I ended up running into a duro on my way. After respawning, I headed back to the area with just a bow, but I ended up bumping into an enemy that I could focus getting some revenge on. Pay attention to the name here because we will definitely be back to get some revenge on this guy soon. Then making our way to airfield, we recycled everything we got off of this player and looted from airfield itself. Getting us enough scrap to learn the double barrel, I rushed home as soon as possible and placed down a research bench to research the double barrel shotgun. It was then time for us to go and start to build our main base. I had already practiced this build several times on a free build custom server. It's very important that you get these first foundations correct, otherwise you won't be able to place a triangle here or place any triangle honeycomb. The first triangle foundation has to be placed exactly like this. And once you've got the core of the bunker set out like this, surround it in triangle foundations and half walls to act as honeycomb. Then add ceilings to all the half walls that you've just placed to seal them in. This will now be the bunker. The entrance to your bunker will go in this gap right here. Placing 2 half walls and deleting the bottom one will give us an entrance into our bunker core. Next we'll cover all the triangle foundations in full walls and half walls above them. This will hopefully hide the fact that we've got a bunker and people will just think it's a pancake layer or honeycomb. Now with the footprint down, we upgrade everything and add doors. This area here will be used as a temporary airlock while I build the rest of the base. My recording glitched out after this bit, but I added another floor to my base and sealed it all in with more doors. I could now work on getting a roof entrance on my base. Now with the base fully secure, I moved all my loot from my starter base over to my main base. And with all my loot from my starter base now safely inside my main base, I went out to get revenge on that player from earlier. That's him as well. That's what you get for killing me, you little fuck. I then went farming along the roads and made it to outposts to recycle everything I'd farmed up. This got us enough scrap to learn Revy and Pistol Bullet. We just had to make it home safely and research them in a research bench. As nighttime fell, I made my base rather cozy with some little lanterns. And after some reorganisation of base deployables, I figured it was time I focused on finishing the tier 1 tech tree, finally. So I headed to abandoned supermarket and water treatment. I quickly recycled everything I got and then rushed home to finish the tier 1 tech tree. Shortly after, I could hear shots nearby base, so I went out to investigate. I took the custom SMG back home, but while I was AFK inside base, I could hear someone outside. I quickly killed and respawned to go and investigate. Dude, you really decided to build a base right next to me. Considering I've now got neighbours living right next to me, I think it's time I expand my base. But I don't have any materials to do that. So I need to go farming. As I arrived back at base with all the farm I'd just farmed up, these guys made their intentions towards me very clear. He shot my jump up. They want to shoot my jump up. I'm a door camper. I headed out to door camp the neighbours, but I caught him coming to destroy my jump up again. I had to upgrade my entrance to my base because they kept destroying my jump up. Now those neighbours were constantly sitting on their roof shooting arrows at my base. I guess they was trying to intimidate me into not leaving my base. I know what their base looks like now though. I'm not sure if me shooting a custom at them scared them off, but during the night I heard two players break their legs and run away from that base. And as you'll see in a minute, they actually moved out and left their doors open. I think they've moved. In fact, I think they have moved. During the night time that I waited out there, I waited in base during night time, and I heard two players break their legs and run off. I'm assuming they grabbed all their loot at their base and just ran. No way, there's a tier 2 just sat here with a hammer. Right, we take that back home. If we can get this home, that's saved us 500 scrap. What? No way. That's exactly what I needed. I literally brought my axe with me because I needed to farm wood. Desperately need to get garage doors. I'm sick of having to move them doors. I had to place my tier 1 upstairs so that I could have room for the tier 2 downstairs. It was then time to head out and start farming scrap to go down the tier 2 tech tree. After killing that player, I took his loot home, but could hear people camping outside my base. Now I've got 2 people camping outside my base. Now that a group have found where I live, I think it's best I get down to garage doors ASAP. Right, let's go and try and do a bit of recycling. Take a tool with us as well. I'm gonna try and run water treatment and at the same time do some recycling. Should now get us down to garage door. Unfortunately, we still needed a bit of extra scrap. So after upgrading my base to metal, I went back to water treatment. Man has 500 cloth on him. And 400 scrap. Holy shit, I'm getting home now. I'm not even risking a recycle. Why would he be out without a weapon with that much stuff on him? I'm so confused. That dude has definitely just quit the server. Why would you be walking around with all that and no weapon other than a paddle? Alright, that's garage door learned. Finally, some garage doors securing the base. I want to get locked boxes learned. To maximize the amount of loot we can hold in our core, we desperately need drop boxes. So I head out to farm scrap once again. How the frickin' hell did he not hear or see me? Let's learn that lockbox, the drop box, before we learn anything else. I went out looking for PvP, but couldn't find any. On my way home, I come across this little base nearby my base. No fucking way. I went home and learnt as much as I could from the tier 2 workbench. We would now be ready for the next weekly wipe, having basically any BP that I would use. I then added as many garage doors and sheet metal doors as I could. And fully upgraded the base to sheet metal and high quality metal in the core. Need to quickly upgrade them half walls. Right, now that's all the main core bit upgraded. I could actually further honeycomb here. I could honeycomb all the way around this if I wanted to. I just don't know if it's going to be worth it. As well as having space up above there for depot boxes, now I could also put like 4 boxes in here, 4 boxes in here. And that'd come in really handy for like if you're raiding or anything like that. I could even put a shelf up above. I could have 8 boxes in this room, 8 boxes in this room, and you could use them as depot boxes, especially if you're raiding, like running in and out, depoting boxes and depoting loot in boxes and stuff. I then had so many roams looking for PvP and hoping that someone would attempt to raid my base. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anyone and the weekly server had already died. If you enjoyed this content, consider checking out the video at the end here where I solo took revenge on a clan. Maybe even leave a like, a comment and subscribe. Until the next one, peace.